What about Cooks himself, the guy that departs here, now becoming more of a clear number one potentially with the Texans? Do you like the fit? What do you see of Brandin Cooks there?
So the Texans and Giants are both kind of interesting offenses because we have a whole lot of uncertainty, but a whole lot of talent in these passing games, especially the Texans that should be, pretty productive. I mean, okay, not having Hopkins isn't great. I know Watson's splits with and without Fuller have just fallen off a cliff over these past years. So if you take away Hopkins, what's going to happen? But I don't know, because he has always just been he's had so few weapons over these years. I mean, there were situations like where Fuller got hurt and it was who's he going to throw to other than Hopkins. So if these guys can stay even just a little bit healthy, and we have Deshaun Watson throwing to Brandin Cooks, Will Fuller, Randall Cobb, Kenny Stills, Duke, and David Johnson, that's a lot of talent. I think Watson's good enough to do a lot with that. And so looking at these kind of average draft positions, you got to kind of look at best ball. I mean, I know they're going to be different than redraft, but there's just more best ball going on right now than redraft stuff. So looking at the best ball, I mean, all these guys are going, wide receiver 35 and later pretty much. So they're being priced as wide receiver 3s to wide receiver 4s, which, they very well could be. But they're being priced with a bunch of other guys, like your Christian Kirks of the world, that we know are wide receiver 3s or wide receiver 4s. And, it wouldn't shock me if Brandin Cooks or if Will Fuller or if Darius Slayton or if, Sterling Shepard, if one of these guys in a crowded, unclear pecking order just rise to the top. So, if we're really just zeroing out an upside, I think these Texans wide receivers where they're being valued right now, like, heck yeah, take a shot. Because, again, the more drafts everyone does, I think we're going to realize that you need to load up on RBs this year. So if you have these later wide receivers, that's why I like Jameson Crowder, Terry McLaurin. I'm sure we'll talk about them later.
Yep.
But any wide receiver that's being priced this low that has an actual shot to be the team's wide receiver 1, like, take a long look at them.
And especially the wide receivers that are the number one you just mentioned Deshaun Watson, such a great talent. Ridiculous player last year. I know we referenced this on last episode when we were talking about QBs. 5th in deep yardage last year, 2nd in TDs with 11, and their number 1 PFF adjusted deep completion, 51.1% or 54.1%. So, I mean, this guy slings the ball. Obviously, if you just watch him play, he can sling it deep, but there's the advanced analytics that back that up. And you look at Cooks, Fuller as well, both incredible field stretchers. I mean, Cooks had 1,000 yards in 4 straight years before last year's kind of debacle where everything got thrown off. 14.8 yards per catch since 2015's 4th among receivers in that span. He had over 15 yards per catch in 3 of those 4. I mean, the guy can clearly burn. We all can just watch him play without the metrics. To me, that might just be the beautiful marriage of a great deep ball thrower and a great deep threat. And there's other guys to draw attention away from him too. So it's not like you can just put someone over Cooks the entire time. I really like this. He's probably my favorite single value right now at wide receiver. Like you said, getting priced as a wide receiver 3 as the potential number 1. And he's not Hopkins, but you mentioned nobody has more targets over the last 3 years than the number 1 wide receiver for the Texans. Clearly, they're different builds. But maybe he does, Bill O'Brien love just a clear-cut number 1. And if anybody on this group is going to be it, to me, that would be Cooks. So tons of upside at a bare minimum price. I love the Brandin Cooks move here for his own value. What is up, you Fantasy Wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.